On 2021 of August, I received a letter from the Bexar County Housing Authority of Bexar County stating that I was qualifying for housing. That I had to go to their office by August the 13th, which I did, with all the information which they needed. Well, anyway, so I go, and I take all these things, and I get into a room with a bunch of ladies. They call another lady first, and then they called me. Mm-hmm. And they only called the two of us out of all the ladies that were in the room. Mm-hmm. And it was at least 20 of us, maybe. And so she just says, here's your voucher. You need to start looking for an apartment right away. Mm-hmm. You only have 2 months, she says. I don't have a computer, and I'm having a lot of problems with my phone getting on certain websites, mm-hmm. especially to look for apartments.
Okay.
You know, so I asked my sister to help me, my older sister. Mm-hmm. She did. She got very upset with the website herself. She mm-hmm. said it was a bunch of repeat. For every zip code she put in, it was the same listing of apartments. It's called Go Section 8. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't do it, so she helped me. She found this apartment for me under Section 8. I come over here in September. I look at it. I tell them that there's a lot of things that need to be done. She goes, "Don't worry, Miss Cruz. It's going to get inspected, and once it's inspected, then we're going to fix everything that the inspector says." Mm-hmm. I come back over here October the 5th because that was my move-in date. I find nothing done. I go back to the office and I say, why hasn't anything been done? Nothing has. It hasn't even been cleaned. So I called the Housing Authority of Bexar County when the apartments told me this. Mm-hmm. And at that time, it was October, the beginning of October, because I had already come. I think I called them the 7th. And I said, you know that they haven't done anything in my apartment. And I'm trying to get a hold of my case, so-called social worker, the one that was supposed to take care of my case. Wasn't able, she never called me, nothing, mm-hmm. to tell me anything. There's only one time I talked to this lady is when I went to go pick up a so-called RTA, rental tenant assistance, yes.
Okay.
So I go to pick this up because that's all they gave me was the voucher in the beginning and some instructions, but that was it. They didn't give me no RTA or anything.
Okay.
Well, when I get over there to go pick it up, she was real rude to me because I didn't have something. I said, well, I don't know. This is my first time I do this. And then she comes to tell me that everything that I should know because everything's in the packet. Well, it wasn't. It was not in the packet, but she wanted. In other words, she was claiming that I didn't take her. Mm-hmm. So I came back to the apartment, and because it was supposed to be something that the apartments were supposed to give me so I could give to her. Well, I came back to the apartment and I don't know what you're supposed to have. Yeah. I'm like, how can you not know? Haven't you taken other Section 8 people here?
So you weren't informed that the inspection didn't pass?
The Housing Authority of Bexar County never once called me. Luz Redes never once called me for nothing. She threw the sheet, that happy sheet that I'm telling you about that she gave me, because that's all she gave me. She threw it at me.
Yeah.
And that's all she gave me. And I came over here. They should have never moved me into this apartment.
Okay, can you elaborate on what some of those things
Well, like the window, the sliding doors behind you I can't open them because they have a major gap about an inch wide between the two doors. Okay. I have to tape them together. These two windows, the reason I have them like that is because there's a heavy draft all the way around those windows because they're I guess the outside, the stripping from the outside, the one that's supposed to prevent from the heat and the cold coming in has gone away. I thought they came over here like not too long ago to do some caulking because of all it's missing, but they did very little on this window. And they did a major job on the back window though as far as caulking, because that one was literally coming out of, in other words, somebody could just get the window and pull it out.
Yeah.
That's how loose it was in there. I have it all taped up right now.
So you're saying that you have reported these issues before and management just, you know, puts it off? They ignore you?
Ignore me. They don't follow up. How's that? They don't follow up. And this is it. They're like, with the first ones, they were like, yes, Ms. Cruz, don't worry, you're going to get these things fixed. When they took over in February, or no, the end of January, 2 men came in here, looked at everything that needed to be fixed, turns around and tells me, well, everything you need has to be contracted out. And I said, okay, so what does that mean? He goes, well, that means that it's not going to get done anytime soon. And, well, it hasn't ever gotten done. They tricked me into telling me that they needed to get into my apartment so that, because I wasn't here, I was in Del Rio, but I have that camera right there set up too. It's set up as a home security system. I was in Del Rio and they were calling me telling me, Miss Cruz, we have to get into your apartment because if we don't, there's a leak that's coming from over there, up there, not here, but they said, we have to go and check because if not, you're going to be responsible for all damages. I said, oh, really? I said, go ahead and go in. And there's a reason why I say no entry. Because you know how they ask you on the lease if you can enter or they are allowed to enter or not? Well, at first I had said yes. But then I come to find out that they're coming into my apartment when I leave. They wait. They're looking at me when I'm here. They're looking at me when I leave. So somebody's spying, and then they come in here. I can hear her saying, "Oh well, I think it's all right, but I just don't want him to get out because she has a little dog, and I don't want him to get out, but I don't hear him." Which I had him with me in Del Rio. I wasn't living here, so he was with me, and the apartment was alone. Okay, so. I see her come in, I see him come in. Well, he wasn't in here more than 10 minutes. Maybe not even 10 minutes, maybe 5. And he's right back out the door. 50 minutes later, she's sticking that envelope above, right inside my door. Right there on that cross.
And the envelope is?
That's the one. And it was left on my door on the 15th, and then they're asking me to leave on the 15th. How can that be? They give you just that same day to get out? I sat through about 15 or 16 evictions before mine came up. I was like the second to the last person in that courtroom. There was a lot of evictions that day. And it was very sad because the judge at the time that was sitting in for, I thank God she wasn't there when I went the second time. But the first time she didn't go for the defendant, not once. They were all for the plaintiff. And so then when I get up there, you know, she's starting off, you know, real good. And he goes, they have asked me to reschedule, to reset the court date. She goes, sure, let's do it. And so she said she reset it for June 1st. Well, I went and I wasn't quite that much. I think only heard 4 or 5 cases because I was a little bit late. And then I got called and I went up. And of course Miranda started talking to me. I said, you go ahead and take it. You know what you're doing. So I let her have it. I said, just go ahead but of course I'm thank God that the judge offered to hear me, my statement, my part of the story. Well, he didn't let me tell him very much because I got up there and I told him, I said, I'm going to have to start from the beginning, Judge. I'm sorry. Because I know this is about this eviction, but I got to let you know what led up to this eviction. And I said, I came into this apartment with the intent of being with the Housing Authority of Bexar County, and they screwed me over. That's all he needed to hear. And he said, you know what, I'm sorry. This is just not right.
I remember hearing your case, and it sounded like you had won because they had improperly delivered the notice to vacate.
Well, that was kind of that was what Miranda was going after when it first started. And he was going for it, but then when he allowed me to speak, and he asked Miranda, isn't this case a housing case? She said no. But because, see, she's strictly eviction. She can't say I was on housing because in reality, I'm not. But yet, I am. And I had the voucher to prove it. So she said that I had to be strictly about the eviction.
Yeah.
But that's what I told him. I said, no, Judge, I'm sorry, but I came in here with the intent that they were going to pay their part. And that was all he heard, and that's when he just said, no, this is gone, this is done.
So what is something that you wish people would understand about your situation? What is one thing that you want people to understand?
To care for what I'm going through, to help me. Because the way I look at it is nobody does care. The city does a little bit, but they are telling me this is only what we can do for you, Ms. Cruz.